What's going on, my artist peeps? So, people have been asking me, Trisha, can you please show me how you make these frames? Disclaimer, I am not a professional frame maker. I am a realistic frame maker. I am a person that figured out how to make a makeshift frame, make it look nice so that it would make my art look nice. Now, this is for all the people who do not have the proper tools like a circular saw, yada, yada, yada. I make a lot of these frames. I just haven't bought myself one yet. The one that I was looking at, I think, runs around maybe about 150, 130, 150, somewhere in that range. I haven't bought one because honestly, my kids are probably buying me one for Christmas. So, I want to show you what I use and how to make them. All right, let's get started. Okay, things you will need. You will need a miter box. Now, I bought this from Home Depot. They run you about 15 bucks. They don't cost that much at all. Planks. You can get these planks really from any hardware store. Lowe's sell them, Home Depot sell them, but I find that the ones from Lowe's, the wood's a little bit better than the wood at Home Depot. You will need your little sander to smooth your wood out. Make sure whatever sander you have the proper sanding sheets to go with your sander. You'll need some hammers. These are the nails that I use to make my frames. Let's see what else is in my box. You will need these bad boys. These are the corner braces, the Everbuilt. These are the 1 inches, and they all just fell out in the bucket. But yeah, these are the 1 inches. I use these for the big ones when I make frames for canvases like these. These are the ones that I use. These actually are a little bit more sturdier. Forgive me for my movement, but yeah. I do these for the bigger projects, these for little ones like this. This is what they look like. I used to use the small nails panel board nails to secure, but I started using the longer ones since I tend to make a lot of big frames. What else will you need that I am missing? Let's see. We're gonna roam my garage. Oh, here we are. And we're gonna need some plastic wood. So, once you have everything you need, we can get started. I'm back. Okay. Y'all, this is what I call the hood version of making frames. So, like I said, these are really, really easy to make. Really easy to make. It's nothing to it. So, when it comes to measurement, and you want to do this with every canvas that you have. You don't want to just make a bunch of frames for the same size canvas. And let me tell you why. Because, and I've learned this the hard way, most canvases aren't equal in size. It'll say it is, but most of the time it's not. It may be warped a little different. It may be a couple of centimeters off. It could be anything, but most of the time no canvas is identical. So when you make these, you want to make them fit that specific canvas. So what I usually do is, and this is the way that I measure this. Get myself situated here. I place the wood around the canvas as if it was getting framed. So you want to make sure all this stuff lines up. Once you have it lined up, you're going to take your pencil and you're going to mark where you need to cut. It's that simple. It's not hard at all. You're going to mark the top one, and I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see. Once you have that marked, you're going to actually also mark where you want to cut for your height. So you're going to cut for your length and you're going to cut for your height. Once you actually have your wood marked, you're going to cut 2 of each size. So let me show you how I cut this. And listen, this may not be ideal for professionals or people that have the proper equipment. I happen to not have the proper equipment. This works for me. I like to get down and dirty. And I also like to save money. I could go buy some of the clamps to clamp it on the table. Do I feel like, nah, I don't feel like doing that. Because for one, it's really hard for me to stand up for long periods of time. I got a bad back. So for me, getting down and dirty on the ground works for me. Once you have this actually measured out, you're going to line up where you marked in the slot that you want it in. So they have where you can actually cut miter style. That's the triangle style for the professional looking frames, or you can just cut straight down. Sounds silly, but I used to stand my wood up like this and cut it, and it took forever. And then I don't know why, I guess because I was new to it, and then I realized, why don't you just lay the wood down? So once you get that done, you're gonna line it up, you're gonna tighten your miter box, and look, never cut under what needs to be cut, because if you do, your frame is going to be too small and the canvas is not going to fit in the frame, and then you're going to have to start all over again. If you do anything, just cut maybe slightly over, but try to be precise as possible, because that is what actually makes the canvas fit into that frame perfectly. So once I have my saw lined up with the line that I have drawn onto my wood, and yes guys, this is hood style. And voila, I have my first piece of wood. And listen, don't be in the comments telling me, this would be so much easier if you know. This works for me. God gave us tools, meaning our hands, our feet, our arms, our muscles. That's what I'm using. I don't feel like buying clamps. This is how I like to actually cut these. I'm going to get the rest of these cut, and I will be right back. All right, I have all my wood cuts. Let me slide you over there some. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so my wood fits perfectly for this slot. And this is what you want to look for. That's why I said it's not hard the way I make these. They're really not meant to be professional. They're meant to actually beautify your piece of work. So now that we have all of these aligned, cut out to size, I take my braces and I need 4 of them for each corner. I take my screws and I'll be right back. I forgot my power drill. Okay, so let me show you. Let a middle-aged woman here get on her hands and knees and get comfortable. Okay, so once that's done, the way it's supposed to be made is how I screw these down. Now make sure, and let me show you, make sure this is lined up. See it? Make sure it's lined up so that when you drill the braces on, it's all perfectly aligned. Now, I used to require my pencil to mark my space and then drill my hole, but because I've done this so much, I don't really need it anymore, but just for you guys' sake, for the newbies, you know, that fell shop, you would just take your pencil, mark the hole, and then you could put this down and screw it on. But I like to hold mine in place, and I like to just drill it in there. So, well, that didn't work out. Probably because I'm trying to show y'all. Okay, let me hold it like this. Line right. Okay. Let me get this straight because it's a little uneven. There we go. The other one screwed in. Okay, it's in there. Now see how everything is lined up? Everything is lined up. This is actually the front part of the frame. This is the back part. Your bracket always goes towards the back of the frame, never the front. So, as we assemble this, I take it. I want this part to be the front part, smoother. I take it and I flip it around. Make sure all your braces are on the same side of the frame. And have at it. Okay, let's get that started. Now we can get this lined up. Hold it into place. Screw that bad boy down. Screw the top one in. Make sure everything is lined up. Bam, perfect fit. Okay, let's grab our other piece. You always want your smooth part of the wood facing towards the front part of the frame, not the back. This one is pretty much the same on both sides, but I like this side better. And because I'm now working on the back part of the frame, I will have this faced up. All you're gonna do is you're just gonna flip it. Just gonna flip it. Flip it good. All right. All right, let's get this bad boy. Make sure it's looking even with the rest of them. Let's get it centered. Hold it in place. Get the drill started. Make sure it's still aligned. It is. Make sure this even. Get this in there. One more brace to go. I'll go ahead and get my 2 screws out. Territory marked. Go ahead and start with the hole. Right. Let me show y'all the braces. Okay, so now that we have this nice and level, let me show you what I mean by measuring for each canvas. You measured it correctly. will slide right into the frame. It'll slide right in there. Now, once you have this done, I used to sand this, and then I would use the plastic wood. But then I realized I was wasting too much time doing that. I'm all about time efficiency now. So what I do is I fill the holes in with the wood plastic, or plastic wood, or however you want to say it. It's up to you. I fill all the creases in these bad boys. So again, for those of you that fell shop, you're going to take your wood putty and you're going to fill the creases in. And the purpose of this is so that when you sand it and make the wood smooth and ready to get painted, you don't have any lines showing. It's just all smooth surface. Now, for those professionals out there that are probably cringing at this, by all means, do what you do, boo-boo. This just works for me. And I've actually had a lot of my clients tell me when I let them know, this, I make these frames. This didn't come from Hobby Lobby. I'm not a professional frame maker. Like, I make these frames myself. And a lot of my customers actually like that about my work, because they say it makes it feel more authentic. Like, they like that I took the time out and I made something homemade and made it look nice. And one thing you will come to learn about me on my channel is that I'm a really hands-on person. I like making stuff. I do. I've always been hands-on. I'm a New York native. I was born in Manhattan. I'm from Harlem. But as a young child, at the age of 6, I was brought here to Georgia. And soon after, I was placed in the system. And so when I was in foster care, the foster parents that I had, they had 3 sons. And we lived deep in the country in Georgia, like in the middle of nowhere. And they like to race cars. And they also like to work on cars. They were like country boys. And so, as a young child, not really having a whole lot of people to play with, because at the time when they had me, they didn't have any children like that. Not often. I had a foster sister that would come and go. The same one, she would come and go, but I spent most of my time riding my bike by myself, playing in the woods by myself. As a matter of fact, we had a coyote as a pet. My foster grandmother had chickens. And so, my time was spent watching them fix stuff. And by the time I got adopted, she had 5 sons. And let me bring you guys in close here so you can see me. She had 5 sons, and my father, who adopted me, was a brick mason, and they were older when they got me, but he still practiced, and he built a couple of things while they had me, and they passed it on to my brothers. Sometimes he would take me and my mom out with him, and my mom even would help him. And so I understand the fundamental of laying bricks. I just never really learned because I was so young. But I've been around men my whole life who were pretty handy. My husband was in the military. He really couldn't, he didn't have time for it. He's not that handy anyway. He'll tell you I'm more handy than he is. But I'm the type of person, I don't like to wait on anybody. I get really impatient. And so I like to learn how to do things for myself. And so really these are for all my painting buddies who don't have anybody handy in their life, that are really trying to learn how to elevate their craft beyond just painting, that really wants to do what I'm into. I'm not just into painting a pretty picture. I'm actually into presenting it as beautiful as it is to the viewer. It's about staging. It's about making it look its best. That's how I am. But so you guys can see while this is drying, this is what this looks like. And so we're gonna let this dry, and I will be back to show you the next steps. Okay, my plastic wood is dry, and so the next step is to, let me get this from up under me. The next step would be to sand down your wood, especially if it's rough. Try to sand it down to a smooth consistency. And you especially want to do this where you apply the plastic wood, because you want the woods and the dry putty to be even, nicely smoothed down, so when you paint it, you don't see any inconsistencies with the textures. So I'm going to sand this down and I'll be back. Okay, so I have it sanded down, but as I was sanding, I noticed that I didn't go deep enough with the plastic wood. So do not be scared to really push that plastic wood if you have any spaces once you get this assembled. You want to really get it in there. And if you have to do it twice to make sure that all the parts of the frames are blended in, then do that. You don't want to do a half job. I was gonna say something else, but this is YouTube, so I'm gonna keep it clean. Yeah, you don't want to do a half job. So, do this as many times as you need to make sure that this looks like one unit piece. Okay, the next thing I do is these stickers. Some people think they're a pain in the butt, and they can be. And if you don't know how to get them off, that's what makes it hard. Don't try to peel them off on their own. It's not going to come off. The stuff that they use to stick these barcodes on here is quite sticky. I tried vinegar because I did a couple of Google researches when I first started doing this, and yeah, so now I have a whole bottle of vinegar in my shop that I don't use because the vinegar wasn't really effective. What I did find effective was the heat gun. So if you use a heat gun, this is not sponsored, but this is a Wagner heat gun that I got from, I believe I got this from Home Depot. If you heat these stickers up, they'll peel right off. See, they peel right off. So the stickers will peel right off, and you should have no problem with that. I see it. Itty bitty holes here, probably where I was using this for something else. I'm gonna cover those up and sand it down. Really push it in there. Okay. Let me see, I have one more sticker here. Actually, I have two more. So let me get all the stickers off and I will show you the next step. Okay, now that all my stickers are off, what I do next is to secure this even further. Towards the front part, not the back part, because the back part has the brackets. I secure this even tighter with a nail. That ensures that this isn't moving anywhere. Okay, so once I get that in there, it's nice, tight, secure. And the way that I showed you this was a little off, because when I was filming, it's the next day. Obviously, it doesn't take that long for this plastic wood to dry, but I got caught up in some stuff. So it's the next day. But before you actually put this plastic wood, and that's why I had to redo it, I always put the canvas in the frame to make sure it fits nicely. I then hammer the nails into the canvas, and that's when I apply the plastic wood. This assures that when this frame gets moved around, for example, it fell on the concrete, it kind of broke up the plastic wood, and it was because there was still loose in the inside of this frame. There was space because I didn't secure it with the nail. So what you want to do is after you get this assembled and you put your canvas in your frame and you're assured that it fits, you want to then take your nails and you want to put a nail in each corner of your frame. That's when you then apply the plastic wood. So let me get all of my nails in and we'll go to the next step. Okay, I've got everything nailed down. I've resanded with a new piece of sandpaper. I'm gonna dust this bad boy off and get it prepared for painting for the canvas. This is it, guys. This is it. You have your smooth edges. It's all nice, clean, smooth. Easy peasy, nice and breezy. All right. I will be right back after everything is spray painted and finished, and you will get to see the finished product. Okay guys, this is the finished results. This is what the finished frame looks like. I'm gonna take a couple of snapshots so I can upload it onto my website. But yeah, this is the frame. This is what it looks like. That's the back. Yeah, I didn't put tape on these, but and I usually just put the sawtooth clamp on the back here for easy hang up for these type of canvases. All right, photos at the end.